Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only, just David. Hello. Listen, I am going to apologize up front. I am in my new apartment in New York, which is being decorated, and there is I mean, I can hear this echo. Guys, there's nothing I can do about this. I am sorry. Maybe you can't even hear this, but the walls are echoing because I am, for everyone watching this little clip on YouTube, I'm sitting on the floor and there's no furniture. So, but neither of that is here nor there because we have another episode 4 to break down of RHONJ. You know, is anyone else just fucking bored? I mean, listen, let's put the ratings aside for a minute. Let's just put the ratings aside for a minute because we're going to address the ratings. Let's talk about this episode, and then we have someone coming on at the end, et cetera, which is a guest. We love our guests. So let's talk. Can I just say something before we even start? Well, okay, let's go in order. Okay, let's go in order. So the episode opens, and early on, we show everyone. I love how it's kind of funny. I mean, these are just, I'm picking up on like very small things. I love this one scene in the beginning where Gabby says Frank and Dolores is like, shouldn't we refer to him as dad? Shouldn't we refer to each other as dad and mom? I kind of like that. And Gabby says dad, and then they both break out laughing. Neither here nor there. I guess if that's where we're starting, guys, we have a real problem here. So early on, I like this scene. Here's the thing. Something else I just want to say, where Teresa says, she never wants, God help you if you in an interview ask about talk about jail or camp. I love this scene where they're taking they're going off to college, to University of Michigan, and Teresa says, and they're talking about the communal showers and how, Gabriella's gonna have to bring the like caddy in with all her shampoo. Don't we all remember that from college, our college days when you had to go shower in the communal shower and you had to bring your stuff in? I mean, the thought of a communal shower at this age, I don't even get me started. But I love how Teresa's like, that's like jail. Kind of funny, kind of funny. Very, very rare to see Teresa joke about this. So there you go. I thought that was funny. So early on, we see this thing again about, there's talk about Jackie's book, and she gave it to Fessler and she gave it to Melissa because, Melissa was doing press. And listen, let me just tell you, like, when I am interviewing people through a publishing company and it's for a book, like, I mean, who from Bravo, who do we did like Craig Conover's book when it came out. So like it is when there's a book and it's through the publishing company, they will send you the book. So I see what Jackie's saying. Marge just can't get this out of her head. But what is really going on with Marge and Jackie? We're about to find out. I love how Marge reveals that Jackie has not called over the past year or two to check in, or past year to check in about Jan. We're going to get into more on that soon. Fessler, well, anyway, then we learn that Gia has her first confessional because Gia is now going to this dog event, but Gia's with the confessionals. I'm telling you guys, I know you guys have very mixed feelings. How do we feel about Gia having confessionals, right? It's a little, I mean, we just had Melissa's old nose on here. She swears Teresa's lawyer is going to have confessionals in the end of the season. I always find it, I mean, Joey Gorga has confessionals. But Gia with a confessional. I thought she looked good. I'm telling you guys, Gia is going to be the first legacy housewife. She's going to be the first legacy housewife. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. But she has this confessional, and it comes out that Christian, who, by the way, I've said this before, I think Christian is so hot. Christian works for Louie. What? I mean, out of all the things you guys are digging up online, for all the stuff that Melissa's old nose is telling us, for everything that's like coming out, he works for Louie. I mean, we had like an explosion when we learned that little Frankie worked for Louie. So Christian, Gia's love of her life that she's dated for 4 years, works for Louie. Does anyone want more information on that? Because I do. I still don't understand what Louie does. I know Vinny Via on the app and all of that. But sorry, I'm just looking at something. But what does Louie do and what does Christian do for him? Can someone, is anyone interested in that? Because I'm interested in that. I really do think that Gia's going to be the first legacy housewife. We have a lot of changes coming in New Jersey, I think, after this season. I mean, can't you guys see whenever New Jersey, well, Teresa says she's staying till the very end. But I mean, can't you see that who else is going to be the first legacy housewife? Look, I think Riley Burris would be great too if she ever wants to go back to Atlanta. But I think Gia, not today, not tomorrow, but eventually, if you want to end this thing and keep it going forever, although here I am saying I think Housewives is a dying brand and the ratings are down and everything. Can you imagine Teresa in the last scene of Teresa's reign? Teresa, your queen, your idol, tree huggers, Teresa Giudice. The last scene, she passes the torch to Gia. The last scene we see, it's going to be like Vanderpump Rules spinning off from RHOBH. The last scene of RHONJ ever will spin into the first scene of the next season, where Gia leaves the home with Luis and Teresa and little Louie and all the gals, and just gets in her car and drives down the street. Because you know Gia and Christian will be living right down the street from Teresa and Louie. And then Gia opens the door to her own house, also a McMansion for New Jersey, but smaller. Honey, I'm home. And Christian will come out with no shirt on and say, hey, babe, I was just out back at the pool. And Gia will go out back, and they'll have a dog, of course. And it will be the future of RHOJ with Gia as the first legacy housewife. Does everyone want that? Because I see it coming, regardless of whether you want it or not. And Teresa, who swears she will never leave the show and she'll be the last one standing. That will be the way to get Teresa off the show. She will be okay with passing the torch to Gia. I mean, Teresa at some point is going to age out. I mean, look, I think the show has major changes coming next season. We'll talk about that in a minute. I just think the fact that she's having these confessionals is a side. Okay, let's move on. Biscuit is having a birthday party. Jennifer ate it. Does anyone else think Biscuit's dog trainer was really hot? You know, I get lost in the weeds. I think Biscuit's dog trainer is really fucking hot. Okay, Gia's there. We go to this, we go to that. We learn that there's a charity event coming up. Rachel Fuda is not there. She does not need to be there. She doesn't really get along with Jennifer Aiden. Danielle Cabral is at the Dominican. She's not there. We learned that there's a charity event coming up. The Dolo baseball game. And now we get into the fact that there was another charity event that passed. Remember when all this happened in the